Hey everybody, welcome back to the dining room table. This is Mistakes Were Made, and today we are going to do our recap or a review of the first pay period of February. So these numbers are covering the 1st through the 15th. We have just completed that particular cycle, so everything we talk about here is done. It has been completed, and we have moved on to the next pay period. But we are here to see how did the actual situation match up to what we were expecting. All right, I'm going to zoom in, and I will say I don't think you're going to see too much flicker, but I do have a candle burning. I'm going to be indelicate. Frankly, it smells like dog farts in here, so I'm trying to alleviate that. But the puppies are in their area. We do have 2 of the kitties out and wandering around, so it's possible you might hear or see actually any of them during this time. So what are we working with here? Okay, well, when we did this, we didn't have an idea of what our actual pay was going to be. We had done it just early enough that there wasn't even a pending in our bank account. So we used the lowest amount that we kind of figure we're going to see from either one of us. So we already have a little bit of an increase because his pay ended up being $1,941.82. Mine only increased just a smidge at $2,226.85. We did not have any miscellaneous income, but we did have some Etsy sales, which resulted in an additional $12.54 of income. The buffer rollover was just a smidge, again, different at $200.48. Okay, so let's add all of that together. 1941.82 plus 2226.85 plus 1254 plus $200.48. All right, that puts us at a total of $4,381.69 for us to use for the pay period. Okay, now moving on to our regularly occurring costs. Again, not a lot of change here, but there was a little. Our usual $874.99 here, but these Netflix and Kindle stayed the same. The car insurances, they are both the same, as is my health care. We did have a difference in the water bill, which we were expecting. The bill hadn't come through, so I just used what our kind of guesstimate amount is. We have them set for all of our utilities. The expectation, though, was that it was going to be similar to what we had seen in previous months at, I think, like 126 something else. But this time around, it actually ended up being $128.87. And I did look at the bill, and it turns out we used like just a little bit more water than we had in previous months. I don't think it's any indication of like a leak or anything like that, because it was a very small difference. So we'll keep an eye on it. Potentially we've used a little bit more water, and by we I mean me, because I do enjoy taking showers not just to get clean but to also stay warm, and so there's a possibility that there could have been a little bit of wasteful showering, but we'll keep an eye out and see, you know, if this becomes a regular thing or if this was just a one-off. Okay, so we're going to add those together. $874.99 plus $15.49 plus $11.99 plus $129.25 plus $128.87 plus $255.75 plus $206.28, and that gives us a total of $1,622.62. subtract that from our income that we had before of $4381.69, and that leaves us with a remaining income balance of $2,759.07. Okay, so we do not have anything special for the emergency fund during the first pay period, so we're just going to document the $200 buffer for right now. So that'll show us 200, and so that'll bring this down to $2,559.07. Similarly, we did not have any changes with the cash envelopes, sinking funds, however you want to call them, which means we don't need to document any overages. It doesn't mean necessarily that we even had any costs that came out of these particular categories during this time period. It just means if we did, we had enough money in the sinking funds to cover those costs. So there's nothing in addition that we need to indicate on here. Okay, so we're just copying all these numbers over, and since there weren't any changes, the total is going to be the same as well at 701. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to what our running total was, and that brings us to $2,058.07. All right, and then we're going to slide that on over here and note that again. 2,058.07, or yeah. Okay, and you know what? Actually, I feel like something has gone wrong, to be honest. 255. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot to include the $200 for this because I just manually did it and I didn't adjust on here initially. So just to verify, we had 2,759.07, and so subtract 200 and then subtract 701. Yes, that's where the oopsie went. So we're just gonna X this out down at the bottom and write it right here. It makes it uglier, but it's at least correct. And so same thing over here. We'll just X that out and write it right next to it, 1858.07. Okay, now for my guilt-free spending, technically it wasn't actually $30, a full $30 spent, but the little bits were in change, like in coins, so I just chucked them into our coin jar. So I don't know exactly how less than 30 it was, but it was between the 29 and 30, so I just rounded it up to 30. It makes life a little bit easier for these calculations at least. Okay, so taking that out, that brings us to 1828.07. We did have our transfer to put money into the gardening season sinking fund of $100. So we're going to note that down here. And we can manually do that as well, which puts us at 1728.07, which, woohoo, is more than what we had anticipated having, which is great. And so that is going to change our numbers just a little bit. Now, the job loss fund is always going to be $100. So we'll go ahead and put that into place over here. The car loan, what we ended up doing is we put $1,625 down. Yes! So excited about that. We're making great progress. I don't want to jinx anything, but I am very, very grateful that things are going in a positive direction and we are making the strides that we're really wanting to see, especially because we are getting down to the wire as far as my job is concerned. So 1625, we're going to put that right over here in the car loan section. And so that then leaves us with $3 for the emergency fund, and for the buffer rollover, 7 cents. So we're going to go ahead and add that over here. So $200.07 and $3 for the emergency fund. And yes, even when it's $3, $1, whatever it is for the emergency fund, we are transferring those little bits over. Every little bit adds up, and a dollar is a dollar. And so, we're making progress where and how we can. So that's it. We ended the month at $1,728.07 available for us to decide how we're going to distribute it. We put the bulk of that at $1,625 on the car loan, then the standard $100 to go to the job loss cushion, $3 to the emergency fund, and 7 cents for the rollover. All right, fantastic. I do have an update. I was just going to say, I don't think I have any kind of update, but no, that is not true. I have the very, very good news of being able to say we are going to be working into March. Now, like before, I'm not saying through March just because there's a lot of stuff going on. I know that there is a board meeting that is coming up to make some decisions on some things. I think there's still a couple of court hearing dates, but I know one very important one was postponed or pushed back until mid or end of March. But, just because that's been postponed doesn't necessarily mean that our job is going to be extended any longer than, we might expect. So at least for right now, we are intending to work in March. There are no layoffs on the schedule to be effective, March 1st. Whether things might change as far as a potential mid-month layoff, hard to know. I'm hoping that the current pattern that we've been seeing stays. And so with the idea that we are working in March, I would like to think it would be a guarantee, as much as a guarantee you can get in this situation, that means we would work the entire month. But of course, I'm not taking anything for granted. But at least for right now, we do have the good news of, yes, March is in play. We are going to be working in March. And if we do work through the end of March, the expectation is going to be that we should be able to pay the car off by the end of March. Obviously, life loves to throw things at you that you don't expect, loves to, give you some challenges to work through. So, we can't predict the future, but if things go the way that we have planned, or, close to the way that we have planned, we're looking for a pretty positive outlook on that. All right, so that is where we are at with the budget recap for the first pay period of February. If you have any questions, concerns, feedback, just want to say hi, just please note those down in the comments. I do try to respond to every single comment in one way or another, and I'm open to most questions. I just ask that you be respectful and things like that. And I guess, I hope we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.